Master of Sacred Flame, surrender now. The leader of the demon guard stood high in the air, his palm trembling as a pure white orb of light swirled above it. A mysterious force emanated from it, spreading out in every direction. Damn it! What is this thing? Xiao Yan's expression was grim as he floated in midair, the power of the sacred flame within him greatly restricted. Seeing your imminent death, I'll show mercy and tell you. The demon guard leader sneered, his tone indifferent. This is the heart of purity. It is the ultimate weapon specifically designed to counter the sacred flame. Xiao Yan's eyes widened as he suddenly realized. Heart of purity? Yes, the heart of purity. It is the result of countless geniuses from the extraterritorial evil clan pouring their blood and sweat into creating it. The voice of Xun'er came close, explaining further. With it, the sacred flame's power is halved. And once the origin of the sacred flame is tainted by the heart of purity, it will be sealed and suppressed. It could take hundreds, even thousands of years before it can release the power of the sacred flame again. The heart of purity is one of the extraterritorial evil clan's greatest creations, Xun'er concluded. Xiao Yan said nothing, his eyes locked onto the heart of purity, now surrounded by a white glow. To control the sacred flame heart of fire at the mid-level of 4-star Docian shows your extraordinary talent, but our demon guards will not allow any human who threatens our great plans to live, the leader of the demon guards declared. Enough! The demon guard leader's palm spun, causing the white light to tremble violently. Strange, glowing patterns spread out like ripples in energy. Be careful. Xun'er quickly released a brilliant surge of soul power, trying to protect Xiao Yan. Is there a way to break this? Xiao Yan asked, taking a deep breath and turning to Xun'er. No, she replied grimly. No one in the great thousand worlds has found a way to break it. Once the heart of purity touches the sacred flame, it will be completely sealed. Then I don't believe in this. Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed, and he bellowed, Thunderfire King of Hell. At his command, the lightning power of his soul clone surged, crashing into Xiao Yan's flames, summoning a towering figure, as colossal as a giant. Impressive. The 4 demon guards were taken aback, clearly surprised by Xiao Yan's power, which exceeded their expectations. The demon guard leader, however, was unperturbed. He raised his hand again, and endless white light fell from the heart of purity, rushing toward Xiao Yan. Damn it! As the white light touched the Thunderfire King of Hell, its indestructible body was overwhelmed. The firepower dissipated like weak flames being drowned by a flood, leaving only the pure lightning energy. Too strong. Xun'er could feel the oppressive force of the white light, suppressing the sacred flame with overwhelming power. Even Xiao Yan would be hard-pressed to stop it. Xiao Yan, are you going to the Master of Ferocious Souls Temple? Xun'er suddenly asked. I will, Xiao Yan responded, not knowing why she asked. The Master of Ferocious Souls Temple contains what I need. Then let me give you a chance. If you enter the Master of Ferocious Souls Temple later, perhaps you'll have a chance to repay me, Xun'er said, her black robe vanishing to reveal her radiant soul form. Not good. Stop her. The demon guard leader suddenly realized something, his voice filled with urgency. Soul technique, heavenly sound. Xun'er smiled softly, then her entire body ignited with flame-like energy. Waves of sound burst from her, rippling outward. Wong wong wong. The sonic waves spread, shaking the hearts of everyone present, slowing their movements. Thunderfire King of Hell, disappear. Xiao Yan's voice cut through the chaos as he summoned his power. Dragon God's first transformation, third transformation, he roared. Fiery explosion technique. Flame-swallowing technique. In an instant, with the demon guard slowed by Xun'er's soul attack, Xiao Yan's power surged once more, pushing him into the half-step 5-star Docian realm. The dragon god transformation enhanced him further, his arm shifting into a strange, dragon-scaled form with a subtle aura of dominion. Bring it to me. Ah. Attacked by soul power, the demon guard's defensive strength and ability to use Do Qi became sluggish for a moment. As a result, the pure heart in his hand was directly seized by Xiao Yan. This, Is this the so-called nemesis of sacred flame, the pure heart? As soon as the pure heart was in his hands, Xiao Yan's sacred flame and sacred flame heart within him erupted with extreme fear, and Xiao Yan couldn't help but hold it in front of him, inspecting it carefully. Thud. With a sound, the white glow surrounding the pure heart completely vanished, transforming into its true form. It was a crystal block the size of a palm, shaped like a human heart, glowing red all over. Even the blood-red crystal had a thin stream of scarlet blood flowing continuously. The crystal seemed to vaguely outline a miniature version of a human woman, her entire body exuding wild ferocity and endless sorrow. The pure heart? Its composition is human? No. Wait. This is the blood of a human woman, from the deepest Een? So, this is how the nemesis of sacred flame was born? Despicable, despicable, despicable. In an instant, Xiao Yan seemed to realize the composition of the pure heart, and he let out a loud laugh. Even the extraterritorial evil clan treats the composition of the pure heart as classified information. Did you figure something out? Xiao Yan, are you all right? Seeing Xiao Yan fall into a mad laughter, Xun'er, who had just calmed the ghostly energy within her, spoke up. Ha ha ha. So what if I know? Humans still need humans to restrain them. Pure heart, explode. Shine your light and completely suppress and extinguish this sacred flame. Soon, the threat from Xun'er's soul attack dissipated, and the leader of the demon guard laughed loudly. Thud, thud, thud. With the demon guard leader's roar, the pure heart, which was standing on Xiao Yan's palm, suddenly began to beat violently like a heart. At the same time, a graceful female figure suddenly emerged from the crystal of the pure heart. Along with that, a terrifying and powerful sealing force slowly began to brew, ready to explode at any moment. At this moment, a sense of horror surged in Xiao Yan's heart, but behind that horror, there was an extreme madness and also an intense anger. Woo-woo. Surrounded by 4 demon guards in the void, a figure appeared above Xiao Yan's head. This figure was none other than the energy form that emerged from the pure heart, but inside this figure was filled with overwhelming pure power and a violent aura aimed at the sacred flame. This power might not pose much of a threat to other powerful beings, but for Xiao Yan, who possessed the sacred flame, this power was enough to easily suppress and seal the sacred flame. Xiao Yan's journey had relied on the sacred flame for many of his accomplishments. If the sacred flame were to be sealed, it would undoubtedly cause immeasurable harm to Xiao Yan's cultivation and foundation. Such consequences were something Xiao Yan could not bear. The pure heart, if I'm not mistaken, was likely created from the blood of a human woman. These women are quite special, born in Een years, and they naturally possess strong sealing powers. Coupled with some special methods of the extraterritorial evil clan, this likely led to the creation of the pure heart, the nemesis of sacred flame. Watching the energy figure before him grow more intense, ready to explode at any moment, Xiao Yan couldn't help but mutter to himself. Thanks to the immense strength of his soul and various factors within him, he had gained a deep understanding of the pure heart in that brief moment. Are you afraid? Die! Seeing Xiao Yan's nonchalant attitude, the leader of the demon guard roared, clearly thinking that Xiao Yan had been scared out of his wits. However, today would be the day the sacred flame faded, and Xiao Yan's fall. People like Xiao Yan, who could control the sacred flame, were not to be spared by the demon guard. If he were to grow stronger, it would bring disaster to the extraterritorial evil clan in the future. Eradicating the sacred flame's master and seizing control of the sacred flame. Such a feat would elevate the demon guard leader if it were to reach the light demon's ears. Are you afraid? Hearing the words of the demon guard, Xiao Yan sneered coldly. Then he spoke lightly, his voice filled not with fear, but with arrogant defiance. Whoosh whoosh. This wasn't directed at anyone, but rather to himself. As his words fell, a wave of hot, blood-pumping energy seemed to respond to Xiao Yan's challenge, surging from the deepest part of his body. Whom? Old buddy, are you afraid? It seemed as though Xiao Yan was inquiring about the Do core within his body, perhaps asking about the 2 sacred flames, or even the flame mantra inside him. Even Xiao Yin himself did not know to whom he was speaking, but it was precisely this action of his that calmed the restive sacred flame. At the same time, some unknown power within his body began to slowly revive. Since you refuse to comply, then let's rewrite things from this moment. Do you think a mere pure heart can suppress us? Dream on. If no one else can break it, then I will be the first in history to do so. In the next instant, Xiao Yin slightly closed his pupils, then opened them again. However, Xun'er noticed that his eyes seemed to be filled with a strange, unique power. Fireheart Heavenly Rock, rise. Great Heavenly Scarlet Flame, rise. In an instant, yellowish-brown flames and fiery red flames shot out from Xiao Yan's body, both flames radiating with the hottest energy. These were the origins of fire. Under Xiao Yan's fierce power, the suppression of the pure heart was momentarily reduced to its lowest point. Are you really going to use the origin? Well, it doesn't matter anymore. This should be over. The demon guard sneered as he watched Xiao Yan's movements. When the pure heart appeared, it marked the fall of the sacred flame's master. The extraterritorial evil clan had fought countless battles with the great Thousand Worlds, and this had become an unwritten rule. No one had ever broken it. This guy's fire attribute is unbelievably dense. Turns out he's been empowered by both the sacred flame and the great heavenly seed. The experts from the other four great halls nodded in realization, finally understanding Xiao Yan's source of strength. But from here on out, I'm afraid. Just as the words left his mouth, the four soul sovereigns and the experts from the four great halls attacked the Five Fingers Mountain formation again. With their assault, the formation's collapse was only a matter of time. But in the deepest, darkest space below, the void began to writhe, as though some terrifying creature was about to emerge. Something's wrong. This void gives me a sense of unease. At this moment, the four soul sovereigns failed to notice a trace of power slipping out from within their own bodies. It was a powerful member of the Elder Council, Qing Feng. As soon as Qing Feng appeared, he immediately concealed himself, clearly searching for something hidden within the void. Pure heart. Another cold grunt followed, and immediately, the crystalline heart of the pure heart began to violently expand. Suddenly, it exploded, and the graceful energy body contracted violently like a bomb, transforming into streams of milky white light that completely enveloped and bound the void. At this moment, the light shone with radiance, as if the goddess of light were punishing a sinner who had violated the heavens with the harshest of tortures. Well done. Charge. With the support of his dragon god transformation and flame mantra, Xiao Yin fiercely compressed the two flames together, transforming them into a delicate lotus seed that shot towards the pure heart. Half-colored Buddha's wrath fire lotus. I hope this will buy me some time. Ing, bless me. He casually threw the half-colored lotus seed forward, but to his shock, the terrifying lotus was forced to retreat in stages, quickly suppressed by the pure heart's power, although it bought Xiao Yin a fair amount of time. Whir. Ethereal ice flame. Rise. In that instant, feeling the intense shaking of his heartbeat, a streak of azure liquid flowed from Xiao Yan's chest, running down into his palm. Impossible. Two sacred flames? Even as the entire void was filled with the purifying power of the pure heart, the demon guard leader noticed that Xiao Yan's palm had already gathered 3 distinct types of flames. And as an expert from the extraterritorial evil clan, his sensitivity to the sacred flames was stronger than any human's. Swish. This still isn't enough. Seeing the shock on the demon guard's face, Xiao Yin didn't hesitate at all. Staring in disbelief at the 3 liquid-like flames that appeared in his palm, he spoke again. Ghost-faced soul flame, emerge. With a roar that was heart-wrenching, it was precisely Xiao Yan's shout that left everyone present stunned, their eyes filled with disbelief. This guy actually has 3 sacred flames in his body? How is that possible? The demon guard leader stared at Xiao Yan's palm, where 4 liquid-like flames, azure, green, yellow, and red, swirled together. A rare fear began to spread in his heart. Who would have thought that the most powerful and rare sacred flames in the great thousand worlds would appear simultaneously in the body of a mere human boy? And not just one or two, but three. The combined power of three sacred flames was enough to destroy the heavens and the earth. The milky white power filled the entire space of the Undying sacred tome. With the explosion of the pure heart, the Five Fingers mountain formation and the fire attribute energy were greatly weakened. Upon closer inspection, the flames encircling his body were of no less than 4 different colors. The fiery red flame was the weakest, followed by the earthy yellow flame, the cyan flame, and the deep blue flame, which was the most dazzling of them all. However, the presence of these 4 flames sent a deep, ominous sense of death through the hearts of everyone present. 3 sacred flames existing in a human body at once. How is that even possible? The power of a single sacred flame is enough to devastate the heavens and earth. To have 3 sacred flames coexisting within one body is nothing short of self-destruction. Xiao and Dengqing's faces darkened as they spoke. Who could have imagined that the seemingly weakest and most inconspicuous individual in this battle for the Undying fire would be the one with the deepest hidden strength? What baffled them even more was that in the great thousand worlds, there was an unwritten rule. Even some extremely powerful cultivators could only devour one sacred flame. If they attempted to consume a second, the difference in the flame's powers would cause their bodies to explode and perish. How was Xiao able to consume 3 sacred flames at once? This guy. Looks like our research has succeeded. Besides the sacred kings and other supreme beings, there are very few strong cultivators in the great thousand worlds who can merge multiple sacred flames into one, Xun'er said with a smile, her eyes fixed on Xiaoyan's current fierce aura. Xun'er understood that, with the combined power of the 4 demon guards and the 5 Fingers mountain formation, along with Xiaoyan's 3 sacred flames, there was little hope left for anyone else. But Xun'er herself wasn't particularly interested in the sacred flames. Her only desire was to avenge the countless Soul Hall companions who had fallen at the hands of the Master of Ferocious Souls. This trip to the ruins wasn't in vain. At least it has confirmed the results of our teacher's experiments. Time to go, Xun'er said with a smile, casting one last glance at Xiaoyan. The Soul Hall had been researching the simultaneous devouring of multiple sacred flames, and they were well aware of the catastrophic power that would occur if even 2 sacred flames existed in the body of a human being. The destructive force would be unbearable, let alone the case of 3 sacred flames. The devastation would be unprecedented. Xun'er knew that Xiaoyan, possessing 3 sacred flames and now heading to claim the Undying fire, would inevitably seek to obtain the lovesickness flame in the future. However, Xun'er could let go of the second sacred flame. As long as the mastermind behind the fall of the Soul Hall was eliminated, paying the price it deserved. No regrets? Xun'er murmured, her jade-like hand flipping as a delicate scroll appeared in her grasp. Xiaoyan, we'll meet again. I hope you won't disappoint me. A person who holds 3 or even 4 sacred flames could truly become a peak existence in the great thousand worlds, she said, her voice fading as she crushed the scroll. Her form became ethereal and then vanished from sight. The powerful figures of the 5 great halls naturally held scrolls for leaving the Undying sacred tome, but using them meant severing their ties with the Undying fire. Thus, they would only use them as a last resort. Damn it! What should we do? The other strong cultivators of the 5 great halls looked at Xiaoyan in midair, their faces filled with grim seriousness. Let's wait and see. If things come to that, we might have no choice but to leave, said Dengqing, shaking his head helplessly. Forget about the strength of the 4 demon guards and the power unleashed by the pure heart. Just the shockwaves of Xiaoyan's 3 sacred flames were enough to make them take the situation seriously. With the 3 sacred flames at his disposal, Xiaoyan could easily wipe them out if he so wished. 3 sacred flames exist within this guy's body. The leader of the demon guards narrowed his eyes in disbelief. My lord, we already violated the demon lord's orders by coming to the Undying sacred tome. Now we've used a pure heart. My lord, we should retreat. The leader of the demon guards urged. Within the milky white space, The pure heart's power filled the air, but the three sacred flames surrounding Xiao greatly weakened its effect. Although the pure heart was known to be the nemesis of sacred flames, its effectiveness varied. The one they had used could only suppress flames ranked lower than 30 on the list of sacred flames. For someone like Xiao, it was almost ineffective. Wait a moment. I don't believe he can completely control the power of three sacred flames. The leader of the demon guards activated his body's brilliant light energy and unleashed a barrage of attacks at Xiao. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Old buddy, it's been a while, Xiao said, barely managing to force a smile as the four flames danced like spirits around him. The origin fire of the three sacred flames, combined with the origin fire of the great heavenly seed, initially made the pure heart extremely effective at restraining the flames. According to Xiao perception, it seemed that the pure heart also had a level of power classification. This pure heart was strong enough to easily suppress the sacred flame, which was ranked outside the top 30. However, now that Xiao had the three sacred flames amplifying his strength, the power of the pure heart was significantly diminished. Come on. In the next instant, a crazed smile appeared on Xiao face, and a solemn, death-defying aura filled his body. This guy, what exactly is he trying to do by summoning three sacred flames? Looking at Xiao frenzied expression, the demon guards surrounding him grew quiet as the four flames circling his body became still. Then, they slowly moved toward his palm. Unable to contain his confusion, one of the demon guards muttered, "Fuse for me." Angry Buddha lotus flame. With a roar that sounded like a wild beast's cry, as soon as Xiao voice fell, the flame mantra inside his body began to operate at full speed. A stream of Do Qi, refined by the flame mantra, surged forth, enveloping the four flames. Immediately, the flames grew quiet, and under Xiao guidance, they slowly began to fuse. After all, this wasn't the first time fusing them, so the process was relatively easy. Even so, Xiao arm, covered with dragon scales, began to crackle and rumble. Some parts of his skin were torn open by the intense heat of the flames, with blood spraying out. Madman! This guy is definitely a madman. Witnessing such a terrifying scene, the strong warriors from the 5 great halls were filled with a sense of fear. Without hesitation, they glared at the position of the undying fire and quickly withdrew. A scroll appeared in their hands, and they immediately left the area. At this point, the space filled with the pure heart's power was left only with Xiao, the 4 demon guards, and a few of the 4 soul lords. Angry Buddha appears, demon gods perish. 3.5 colored angry Buddha lotus flame. Xiao pupils turned blood red as his Do Qi and flames surged together. Drawing on his instincts, he threw the lotus seed, which had been calmly standing on the exquisite lotus platform in his hand, directly at the location of the 4 demon guards. As the fire lotus and its platform passed through, the power of the pure heart shattered with a mighty crash. Even the usually stable void seemed to crack, with the sound of destruction echoing incessantly. This guy, he will definitely be a huge threat to us in the future. Seeing Xiao actions, one of the 4 soul lords was filled with shock. Hastily, they spread their ghostly aura to protect themselves. However, the meager amount of origin power they could muster was clearly insufficient to resist the aftershock of Xiao attack. In an instant, they were overwhelmed by the searing flames. No, it's impossible? The 4 demon guards' eyes tightened, and a chill filled their hearts. The sacred flame itself posed a deadly threat to the extraterritorial evil clan. The combined power of the 3 sacred flames was enough to annihilate a peak 5-star Do Xian. At that moment, a deafening explosion, like the sound of the end of the world, echoed through the void. The momentum was massive, like a divine punishment from the heavens. Boom! The overwhelming power of the 3.5 colored angry Buddha lotus flame lit up like the dawn, immediately obliterating the entire power of the pure heart. Even the entire void began to distort, and a suffocating aura of death began to fill the air. Cough, cough. Shortly after, Xiao body plummeted from the sky, clearly exhausted from the immense consumption of do qi from the 3.5-colored angry Buddha lotus flame. Has it all disappeared? Falling to the ground, Xiao Yin gasped for air and, without hesitation, took out an imperial spirit pill to swallow. The imperial spirit pill could be taken once a month and could quickly recover 60% of do qi in a short period of time. The deafening sound of the explosion faded, but the voices of the 4 demon guards and other powerful figures vanished without a trace. According to Xiao Yan's perception, the soul origin of the 4 soul lords and Mu Wushuang should have been completely destroyed by him. As for the 4 demon guards, they were likely reduced to nothingness under the fusion of his sacred flames. No matter what, the power contained in the 3.5-colored angry Buddha lotus flame was enough to reshape the heavens and earth, and the mere 4 demon guards were no match for it. Hee. This little guy has quite a lot of hidden strength. He actually has 3 sacred flames. TSK. In a rather dark place, the black fiend dragon wolf grinned. Whoosh. Moments later, Xiao Yan's breath had mostly recovered, and he glanced around with a slight sweep of his gaze. The power of the 3.5-colored angry Buddha lotus flame had turned the area into nothingness. Even towering ancient trees and the 5-finger mountain formation had completely disappeared, leaving only a massive pit. Waves of scorching energy surged from the pit, clearly the residual power of the sacred flame. The rest of the area was a mess. That's right, little Zhuama. Suddenly, Xiao Yan seemed to remember something. His body rolled, and he began walking toward the giant pit step by step. Boom! At the same time, a chilling yet imposing aura filled the void. What is that? Xiao Yan's sharp senses immediately reacted with shock. In that brief moment, it seemed as though something was staring at him, and in that instant, Xiao Yan's body turned ice cold, as if he were on the brink of death. Whoosh whoosh. At the same time, a hawk-like screech rang out from above the chaotic void, echoing through the air. With the sound, Xiao Yan's heart became heavy once again. What is this? An enlarged version of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow? Xiao Yan's eyes widened, hurriedly speaking up. Whoosh whoosh. The strange sound continued, and from the top of the ruined void, a massive dark shadow descended, blocking out the sky, shooting straight at Xiao Yan. It resembled a mountain bird, with deep brown feathers and golden claws that hinted at its overwhelming attacking power. The most noticeable feature was a wisp of gray flame flickering on its crown. The gray flame, like a spirit, contained an immensely mysterious power. Buzz buzz. In that instant, the Undying Netherworld Sparrow within Xiao Yan's body, heavily wounded, also erupted with strange fluctuations. What? This guy is the king of the Undying Netherworld Sparrows? You Undying Netherworld Sparrow clan are the guardian spirit beasts of the Undying Fire? After a brief moment of reflection, the Undying Netherworld Sparrow in Xiao Yan's body transmitted some cryptic information to him, causing him to be greatly shocked. Boom boom. Human, leave. The massive body of the king of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow, measuring a full 1,000 feet, lowered its proud head and spoke to Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan fell into brief thought. Now that all the strong competitors for the Undying Fire had been dealt with, if he retreated, the Undying Fire would probably be lost forever. But the strength of this king of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow was likely already at the 6-star Do Xian level, far superior to the Undying Netherworld Sparrow inside Xiao Yan's body. However, abandoning the Undying Fire was something Xiao Yan was reluctant to do. I'll take the risk and try once. After a moment, Xiao Yan's pupils deepened, and a sense of resolve surged within him. At this point, all he could do was give it his best shot. Battle Soul, Undying Netherworld Sparrow, come forth. Xiao Yan roared, and the illusory body of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow appeared above him. Oh, descendants of my clan? Seeing the energy phantom identical to Xiao Yan's own body, the king couldn't help but mutter, Undying Fire Feathers. In the next moment, Xiao Yan's voice thundered as the Undying Netherworld Sparrow's feathers shook, transforming into a storm of fiery feathers that shot toward the king. Bang, bang, bang. The seemingly ferocious deep brown feathers erupted, but the king of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow casually swatted them away, and the space fell silent, with the attack easily dissipating. Gulps. What? Xiao Yin swallowed with difficulty, looking at the man in confusion. Thank you for breaking the seal the undying fire set for me. To express my gratitude, I'll take the 3 sacred flames within you. Ha ha ha. As his voice fell, circles of gray flames spread out from his body like ripples of energy. The temperature of the flames was extremely high, and they were undying, shocking all who saw. This is really one disaster after another. The subfire of the undying fire. Xiao Yin sighed, but his doqi surged. The king of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow's goal was probably also the undying fire, but dealing with such a massive creature was beyond his current ability. Sigh, forget it. The previous battle has already drained me. Here. This is the source fire of the other 3 sacred flames within me, but I have one request. Xiao Yan's palm opened, and 3 flames of different colors danced above it. The 3 flames were clearly sacred flames, but they were far from the true source, merely subfires at best. However, with Xiao Yan's concealment, even the king of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow didn't notice. What condition? The man sensed the flames in Xiao Yan's hand and, seeing that there were no traps, smiled. Thank you, Xun'er, for sparing my life, but the undying fire is ranked among the top 20 sacred flames. I wonder if you could allow me to observe your devouring evolution path. Xiao Yin spoke humbly, pushing the sacred flames toward the king. You're giving me the sacred flames so easily? The king of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow took the 3 flames and looked at Xiao Yin with a puzzled gaze. Xun'er need not worry. The battle just now has exhausted too much of my strength. If I were to clash with someone at the 6-star Do Xian level, it would be unwise. However, even if I were to die, I still wish to witness the undying fire firsthand. I hope Xun'er can grant this request. Xiao Yin spoke earnestly, with sincerity that felt entirely genuine. Very well, I shall fulfill your wish. Once it's done, I will also repair your Undying Netherworld Sparrow battle soul. Let us begin. As soon as his voice fell, the man transformed back into the true form of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow, with the intense gray flames flickering at its head. Within a short time, 4 different colored flames swirled around its head. Although it was only 4 holy flame seeds, such as seen, if left unchecked in any part of the Great Thousand Worlds, would likely cause a significant upheaval. However, a fleeting smile appeared on Xiao Yan's lips. This guy is really foolish. Watching the Undying Netherworld Sparrow King, whose true form had appeared in midair, constantly neutralizing the 4 flames and waiting for an opportunity to devour them, Xiao Yin remained quietly by the side, chuckling. The destructive power of the sacred flame was too overwhelming. Without the mysterious power of the flame mantra, even Xiao Yin wouldn't dare to recklessly devour it. The Undying Netherworld Sparrow King's actions were undoubtedly a path to self-destruction. Even with its noble status as a sacred flame guardian spirit beast, it couldn't escape unscathed. After all, this was no ordinary flame, but the sacred flame. One should not underestimate the power of the holy flame seeds. Without the flame mantra, even devouring a single seed could result in serious injury. Xiao Yin knew this from the beginning, which is why he didn't engage in a full battle with the Undying Netherworld Sparrow King. Although Xiao Yin was confident he could defeat this opponent, the cost would be too high. Boom! In the sky, 4 flames flickered rapidly above the Undying Netherworld Sparrow King's head, waiting to merge. But each time the flames collided, the enormous body of the Undying Netherworld Sparrow King was heavily wounded, blood pouring out. This guy really has incredible endurance. Seeing the terrifying wounds and the gray blood constantly oozing out, Xiao Yin couldn't help but comment. Even when devouring the holy flame seeds, the power between the 4 flames, which didn't interfere with each other, was enough to severely injure the king. After a few breaths, the entire void was filled with the Undying Netherworld Sparrow King's roar. The 4 flames had already burned and severely injured the guardian spirit beast, which was as strong as a 6-star Do Xian. Almost there. Hopefully, with this guy, My battle soul can advance to the next level. Watching the undying Netherworld Sparrow King, who was suffering terribly, Xiao did not rush to act but instead waited patiently. The best opportunity for him to strike would come when the beast was on the brink of death. Damn! How can this king, a dignified 6-star Docian, not withstand your mere flames? The undying Netherworld Sparrow King suddenly rebounded, and brilliant gray energy began to writhe, spreading across the entire void like a vast sea. A 6-star Docian powerhouse truly lives up to its name, and with the undying Fire Guardian Spirit Beast, it must have absorbed quite a bit of the Undying Fire's power. The Undying Fire is said to be indestructible. Seeing the undying Netherworld Sparrow King's rising momentum, Xiao analyzed with interest. Boom! Suddenly, the 4 flames were absorbed by the king, who condensed them into a distorted void space, attempting to use an extreme and terrifying suction force to draw them in and compress them. But the 4 flames weren't just sitting idle. Their dazzling power exploded outward. First, Fireheart Heavenly Rock formed around Xiao, creating indestructible yellow rocks within which the source of flame energy was gathering, ready to unleash a brilliant attack. Next, the ethereal ice flame appeared, as waves of deep blue water curtains surged around Xiao. Then, the ghost-faced soul flame manifested, with chilling ghostly energy spreading out, while the fire's essence stood tall, as though it were the green flames of darkness. As for the gray, undying fire, it transformed into a ferocious snake head, roaring, "Come to me!" The undying Netherworld Sparrow King snorted, and a sky-shattering suction force directly absorbed the 4 flames, which were instantly drawn into its body. This guy! Watching the scene unfold, Xiao shook his head helplessly. Such a brutal move was clearly a path to self-destruction. Boom, boom, boom. As soon as the 4 flames entered its body, an extremely intense wave of heat erupted from the undying Netherworld Sparrow King's body. The terrifying intensity made its bird-like pupils contract sharply. Whoosh, whoosh. Moments later, the 4 flames began to flow throughout its body. These flames, being the sacred flame seeds, now flowed through the undying Netherworld Sparrow King's body without any protection, causing its veins to writhe violently. Wherever the sacred flame passed, blood stains appeared on the ground, and countless veins were burned to nothing. The 4 flames even fought within its body, causing unbearable pain. Ah! The screeching cries of agony echoed as blood veins began to surge within its enormous pupils, clearly in excruciating torment. Forget it, I'll help you. Seeing this, Xiao couldn't bear to watch any longer and smiled as he spoke. Help me. Once it's done, the undying fire will be yours, and everything here will belong to you. At that moment, the king of the undying Netherworld Sparrow couldn't help but roar. Under the torment of 4 flames, even with the strength of a 6-star Docian, it wouldn't be able to hold on for long. Seeing Xiao figure approaching, it couldn't help but feel a surge of wild joy. Sacred flame. Xiao remained unmoved, his figure slowly approaching. He knew very well that if he hadn't voluntarily offered up the 3 subflames and displayed the might of the tricolored half-Buddha angry flame lotus earlier, the king of the undying Netherworld Sparrow would have wiped him out without hesitation. It was only because of the intimidation of the 3 sacred flames that this creature now regarded Xiao with a degree of caution. Come on, I'll spare you from this suffering. As soon as Xiao finished speaking, the shadowy image of the undying Netherworld Sparrow's battle soul reappeared around its severely injured body. Bastard! 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 Seeing Xiao actions, the king of the undying Netherworld Sparrow instantly realized that it had been tricked. It let out a furious roar. But just as it intended to kill Xiao, it discovered that its body had been completely ravaged by the 4 flames. Not a single trace of Do Qi could be mobilized. At this point, it was no different from a defenseless girl, utterly at the mercy of others. Get over here. Seeing this, Xiao eyes turned cold. He nodded firmly and then, with his hand wrapped in the power of the 3 sacred flames, he reached toward the massive body of the king of the undying Netherworld Sparrow. The energy of the three sacred flames' essence surged through his palm, capable of dealing devastating damage to the Sparrow King. Despicable human. Even if I fall, I won't let you have an easy time. Undying torch flame. With a maniacal laugh, a boundless gray flame erupted, instantly engulfing the entire space in a sea of gray fire. Self-detonation? You won't have the chance. Battle soul essence, come out for me. Xiao Yin snorted coldly, and his hand grabbed directly toward the Sparrow King. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The four flames inside its body combined with the power of Xiao Yan's three sacred flames. Under this immense force, the Sparrow King's essence was easily extracted. From its enormous body, a thin, transparent shadow resembling a tiny sparrow wriggled like a worm, slowly being pulled out by Xiao Yin. This was its essence, the core of its being. Devour it for me. I want to see if, with the power of the undying Netherworld Sparrow King's essence, I can push my battle soul even further. As soon as he finished speaking, the small, transparent sparrow formed of pure essence was directly devoured by Xiao Yin. At the same time, the heavily wounded king of the undying Netherworld Sparrow, whose massive body lay crumpled in the distance, began to recover at a visible pace. Its aura, once weak, also gradually strengthened. For a moment, the void fell into an eerie silence. Only the massive 1,000-foot-tall spiritual form of the king of the undying Netherworld Sparrow remained, as well as Xiao Yin, seated cross-legged in the void, devouring and evolving his battle soul.